Welcome back to the Shelter Dog Training series. My name is Alex, and I am the owner and trainer at Liggett Dog Training. Today we are working with Lilly. She is a 3-year-old pitty girl mix, and I've just been told that she really pulls, and the staff is having a little bit of trouble just walking her. They say she usually starts out pretty strong, but then starts to calm down. So we're just going to see what we can get done with her today. Now, I'm walking a little funny here because the floor is wet. They had just mopped, and I'm not trying to face plant today. So we're not going to have the prettiest walk down the hall today because I just don't want to fall on my face. But as soon as we get here to the door, we're going to start doing the things that we usually do. So calm, quiet eye contact before we go into the play area. Now she sneaks past me right here, and the biggest thing here is I don't treat it like an emergency. I'm not offended that she snuck past me. I'm just going to bring her back in. We're going to try again, wait for calm, quiet eye contact, and we are through the door. Now, as you can see, she's got a lot of muscle, and my biggest thing is once a dog starts pulling, I don't want to let them take my feet somewhere, so I'm trying as best I can to plant my feet on the ground, and I see pretty quickly we need a long line because she's got energy, and I don't want to just fight her on the short leash, so we're going to switch to a 20-foot slip leash type long line and see if that helps us just stop fighting each other and be a little bit more collaborative. Now with our big dogs, I always wrap the leash around my butt so I have a little bit more stopping power with my body and I'm not putting all that torque on my shoulder. So as we get situated here on the long line and I let her out, she doesn't know how long this leash is, so she's going to hit the end of it pretty hard a couple times. I don't love it. It's not my favorite. I do try to offer a little bit of give, like right here, so the hitting the end of the leash isn't so hard. Here you can see she's kind of rethinking a few things, but she's still going to go out to the end of the leash at least 2 more times. The one thing I do like is not this time, but this next time that she hits the end of the leash, you can see her, she kind of reacts pretty big, but then she comes into the middle and she kind of shakes it off. She regulates a little bit more, and she comes to me for affection and reassurance, and I try to give her just a little bit. I fix her collar and just kind of help her, like, hey, you're with me. Just because there's a lot more space to move doesn't mean that I'm completely irrelevant to you. So here, just letting her kind of be on the end of the leash, but not letting her take my feet anywhere. And now we're going to start to add just a little bit of movement to help her kind of understand about how much space she has from me. A lot of people miss this step in between going from a short leash to off leash is teaching the dog to pay attention to their space. Now here, I'm guessing, just kind of like, wait, this is a little bit different. So I'm offering, if she wants to stand and hang out, I'm going to be kind of attuned to her and stand and hang out with her. I'm not going to offer like extra energy at this point. Like if she just needs a minute to think, okay, great. Take your minute to think about how this might be a little bit different, calm yourself down a little bit. And I'll just match her energy and help her get there. So I brought out some treats. Obviously that brings her energy way back up. So I'm going to use some treats, but I'm also going to be mindful of, like, if it's making her too overstimulated, we're going to back off on treats. So here she sees somebody out there with a dog. And so I'm just going to help her come the other way. We're going to go back and forth a couple times, keeping an eye on our feet. We don't want to get tangled up with this. But basically, if she hits the end of the leash, I'm not continuing to let her take my feet places. My feet stay still. I do offer a little bit of give because she's a big dog and I don't want her to hit the end of the leash too hard. There she did kind of pull me, but that is why I have it wrapped around my butt. So my stopping power is my body rather than just my shoulder. Because if I just use my shoulder with her, I think she would just take me for a nice little walk. But what we want to do here is start to teach her that when she feels that leash go tight, her next step is to give. We don't want her to continue to walk along. And with a big dog like her, who's getting used to when the leash is tight, she gets to continue the walk. She's not becoming more adoptable to the general public, especially just she's strong and she's big. So we want to teach her that when you feel that leash go tight, you need to come check in with me. We can have a blast, we can have fun, we can do all these fun things on the long line, but I have to stay relevant and you have to keep me in your mind because this isn't just us being tethered together. This is us collaborating and having fun together and letting her be a dog and letting her kind of hang out and be with me. So adding a little bit of movement, I think she's getting used to how long the leash is, how much space she has. I am kind of using the wall as a reference point, so she can't go too much farther than the end of the leash before she gets to the wall. But just helping her to like calm down, and like life is fun, but a lot of this energy, I think too, there's some physical energy, but there's also some like excitement and anxious and mental energy that I want her to start to recognize is different, and she's not actually that physically energized. So in a little bit here, we're going to see I'm not paying attention as much as I should be. So right here, she looked right at me, and I should have yesed her. I might have said good girl, but I should have yesed her and then followed up with a treat. The reason I say yes before I give the treat is because humans are super slow to give rewards or corrections or whatever it is to what the dog's doing. And so the yes is a way for me to be much faster to capture the picture of what I want to see more of. So here, I hopefully will start guessing her and following up with a treat, because that was pretty good engagement again. But I think this time around I do start to do the yes game with her. So I get a treat ready. When she looks at me, I say yes, and I toss it. This is called the yes game. We want it to be fun for the dog. We want her to engage with it. We want her to love what she's doing. Therefore, she's more likely to engage with it again in the future. Now, some dogs I will hand feed the treat to help build connection, but she's pretty treat motivated, so we're just going to yes her when she looks and toss the treat. And I'm tossing it like kind of far away, so she has to go get it, and she has to play a little bit of chase. She gets to feel like a dog. It's almost like a little bit of like extracurricular or enrichment for her to go chase it and to go find it, building into her chase drive. So this is the yes game. I say yes when she looks, and I drop the treat. That's it. If she's really looking at my hand, I'll put my hand behind my back. If she's really looking at my treat pouch, sometimes I'll push the treat pouch behind my back, so that she's more looking to engage with me rather than to find the treat pouch or the hand. Once we've done a few rounds of those, we're going to start to move around again, go back to long lining. She's going to bump the camera here. Hello. Good to see you. So the next thing she does is, as we're playing the yes game, she's going to start to see if there was another way that she could earn treats by just following my hand behind my back. She says, I'm pretty sure the treat is here. Why don't I just go get it myself? And all I'm going to do is just tell her like that doesn't get her anywhere. She can offer that, but it doesn't earn the treat. What earns the treat is when she looks at me and she makes eye contact. That is how she gets the treat. And there I hand fed it to her just to help build a little bit more connection and to just calm her down a little bit, because after she bumped the camera, you see her tail's going. She's being a little silly. I do think she barks at me a couple times. And I just want her to calm down, and I release the treat. So I'm offering it to her I'm offering it by hand, and I release the treat when she's calm. So that way that state of mind is being rewarded rather than the pushy, demanding behavior of like, I mean, it's not that pushy. She's just trying to figure out what is going to work to get her the treat. And if what she's doing isn't working, she's going to eventually stop doing that thing. So up here, she's looking. And my first reaction when a dog does that, when they quickly engage with something else like that, if you go back and watch it, I'm very quick to see what they're looking at. Is it a threat? Is it another dog? Do I need to make different decisions? Do I need to move away? I'm very quick to make sure that if my dog is looking at something, I know exactly what they're looking at, so I can address the situation. Coming up, I think I'm going to start to use some space to correct her on place. We're going to do a little bit of place work, and then I think we're nearly done with her because she is doing pretty good. And we're actually starting to see some of that physical energy wear off, and we're starting to just see that treat motivation energy come out, the excitement come out. So I'm just going to offer for her to place, and I'm going to take a little step back just to offer for her to test to see if she will come off of place. She's not, so I'm treating her for staying on place. And I kind of want her to just be a little bit more calm and hold her own space before I let her come off. So I just used a little bit of space right there to correct her back onto place, and to just see if I can get her to calm down. Oh my gosh, to calm down before we take her back, because I think now she's getting a little bit more frustrated. She's getting a little bit more excitable rather than calming down. And this energy could come from a number of places. The first thing to think about is we have been working for the last 10 minutes and we've been asking her to think differently. So she might be getting a little bit of like recess jitters where she just like, oh, I just want to go to recess. I just want to play. This is hard work, which I understand. And she did get her walk this morning. She's going to go out for a walk this afternoon too, and get out to go in the play yard. So I'm kind of just asking her, like, let's stay in the classroom a little bit longer. Let's calm down and let's see if we can get her to regulate or hold her own space here. She says, I can't do it. You're too far away. And I'm not taking it personally. I'm not judging her for not being able to hold her own space. And when she comes off of it, I'm not getting after her for coming off of it. I'm just asking her to go back onto place. Now here I'm kind of thinking, all right, she's tired. Maybe she's a little bit hot. So I'm going to ask her to come up to place one more time. And when she makes calm, quiet eye contact, that's when I'm going to let her come off of place and do what she'd like to do. So here she's holding it on her own. That's a great sign. I'm blocking before she comes off. My leash is still loose. There she gave me eye contact. I'm going to let her come off and have a break and do what she'd like to do. I'm pretty sure she goes into a lay down and she just kind of hangs out. Good girl, nice job. So I'm pretty sure I praised her there. And then she just kind of flops over and says, whoa, this was hard. This was a lot of thinking to do. We didn't do a ton of physical stuff, but she is thinking a little bit differently. And that can be like a lot in and of itself. Like if you think about taking a test or learning a language, I love the half shake. I wish we would have got a full shake, but just letting her be and letting her kind of just go, okay, let me think about all this stuff. This was a hard lesson. But I love that we can just kind of be here. She can hold her own space. I don't mind that she's not on the place board, but just to let her come out of her kennel and do something that's not completely charged with going one way or another, or like going on a huge walk or into the play yard. It's like, let's just relax together. I would offer to pet her here. I kind of wish I did, but I think if I would lean down to pet her, it would bring the energy right back up and undo a lot of the work that we just did. So I think I'm just giving her some verbal praise, some eye contact, allowing her to just be in the state of mind and realize it's kind of refreshing. I'm not stopping her from getting up. I'm not telling her to lay down. I'm just letting her kind of do her thing. So now we're going to take her back because that's a great note to end on. Overall, I'm super happy with how today went. I could have been a little bit better on yesing her and engaging with her. Maybe I could have offered a few more like physical affection or physical touch to reward her. I mostly didn't, I think, in the moment because I felt like the physical attention would bring her back up. So as we take her back to the kennel, we're going to ask for calm, quiet eye contact through this door. And then there's a small space that I'm going to ask her to go through second. So I'm going to lead through it. And she's pretty okay with that idea. She gives a little bit of a protest, but at first, but then she kind of goes, oh, okay, I'll follow you through. Just reiterating that like we're together. This isn't we're tethered to each other situation. We are working together. And this is a lot calmer of a walk. She's still quite motivated by other things. And she's zigzagging. She's got a lot to do, but we're going to do one more calm, quiet eye contact through the kennel door because she's just a little bit too motivated to get in there. And then we're going to let her hang out and have a nice rest of her afternoon. Thanks for watching, guys. And please ask any questions in the comments as usual and stay tuned for more videos.